Bill Barr is now the sole keeper of the Mueller report. How hell-wheeled that special counsel Robert Mueller has officially concluded his investigation after more than 2 years and turned his final report into the Justice Department. What happens next depends on one man, the Attorney General, William Barr. Justice Department rules now make of the Mueller report. He alone decides. I remain committed to as much transparency as possible, and I will keep you informed as to the status of my view, Barr wrote in a letter to members of Congress on Friday. How Barr will wield his extraordinary power is a mystery, even at the highest levels of government. The White House, Trump aides are also gearing up for a fight if Barr tries to send anything damning about the president to Congress or the public. The White House will lead. Congress is preparing for battle as well. Under the the first potential flashpoint between the legislative and executive branches of government is the fact that the White House may get access to whatever Barr decides to send to Congress before Congress itself, so that it can decide whether to assert executive privilege. Democrats are worried if any parts of the report or summary Congress receives are redacted. House committee chairs have already demanded they be given explanations for the reasoning. House Judiciary. Congress is conducting its own investigations into Trump and his orbit. But many Democrats, it is a mark of just how explosive the Mueller findings will be for both parties that they have been held so closely for so long. Barr and Mueller are. What's clear is that Barr is about to make history. He alone will decide.
Raindrop, drop top, top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park.